the smoke is really thick. You can't see the sky at all, or the sun. There's one little bit. So there's a big red sun in the sky up there. It's very, very, very thick, and it's getting really hot. I can feel against my back the heat coming from the fire. I've just been told by the fireys, because I'm at the fire station here, that my husband's in the middle of it, and he's out on call, and it's uncontrollable at the moment. So we're leaving. So I've just got to go. I can't stay. I've hung around the fire station all day. Just, staying close to Kev, but I have to leave now, and he's out there. So send your prayers, beautiful ones.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Well, the show with no name today, we are bringing you live from Tasmania, the lovely Georgie Fitzgerald. We usually start the show laughing, but seriously, there's really nothing to laugh about. There's lots to be grateful for, but today is a bit more of a serious show, because we can be serious at times.
We can be when we need to be. I'm Theonie Roussianos, and we've also got watching with us Rachel Ireland, who was caught up in the pinery fires in December of, 2000 and...
Pretty sure it was 15.
15 or 16? 15.
Rachel will let us know,
So Rachel knows exactly where Georgie's coming from. Her husband, also a volunteer firefighter. So she really does understand what Georgie's going through and what it's all about, and having to leave behind what you've got to leave behind to save, for your own safety, for your family's safety, and, and then leaving a husband behind. That's got to be the hardest part. Property can be replaced.
Yeah.
There are the sentimental things that can't be replaced.
Yeah.
But the people that you leave behind have got to be the hardest. So I think I'll just bring Georgie on. I don't think we can really introduce the show we usually do with the topic of the day. I will warn you, Georgie, that I am bringing you on. I don't usually warn Adaire.
That's okay.
So,
Good
hi,
morning.
Georgie. Welcome to the show. How are you going? I mean, that's a stupid question, isn't it?
No, it's not. I'm fragile today.
Can't see you.
Are you good? Can you hear
Hey,
me?
Yeah,
Great.
You are. Adaire's not
Yeah.
used to being guest. It can take her a little bit for the guest to see the other guests coming on.
Great. Today, relief, sadness, gratitude. It's a multitude. I actually have allowed myself to feel today. I've been very centered in my body, trying to align my mind, my heart, and my gut intuition up when I make decisions and choices, because I've had to make ones that affect my life and my family's life on a huge scale in this last week.
So where did it's been? I heard you say 10 days. Has it been?
Yeah,
10
yeah.
days or the
It's day 11, I think.
Yeah, so on January 15, there was lightning strikes in our area. We never have a dry storm, and we actually had a thunder and then lightning strikes with no rain, and that was the most peculiar weather pattern we've seen in such a long time. And within 24 hours, the forest was on fire. Way down deep south, the forest was on fire. And so it started then. My husband was called out then, and that, like I said, was mid-January, and we had to evacuate because of the smoke for 5 days. We went up to the East Coast, the children and I, while my husband stayed and battled the fire. We came home to be in the middle of it again. It flared up within 2 days of us being home.
Oh. So, Georgie, just a bit of context so people understand, sort of where you are, because, I mean, I've been to Tassie once, and actually, ironically enough, it was to do some work with Tasmania Fire Service when I was working in emergency services, working with the then chief of TFS, who's since moved on, so shout out to Mike. But with where you are and the context of what you're faced with, I mean, it's not like the is it? Yeah.
No. The Huon Valley is a lush, fertile, green, majestic valley with old growth trees, deep ravines, crevices, fern gullies, wildlife, animals, farming, orchards. So it's a river community that has a long history of apples, cherries, wood, like timber produce and timber products. So there's a diverse community as well as the deep World Heritage Forest. So it's where the old world and the farming communities meet, and that's in the area that I live in. So the lightning strikes started in the deepest part of the forest, way down south of Tarhoon Airwalk, which many people would have heard of. It's an amazing aerial structure that goes on the top of the canopy of the trees, and you look over on the Picton River and the Huon River and the old growth forest, trees that are millennials old. And the fire started in a deeper, more southwesterly area from there. But the winds and the lightning strikes were just incessant, and it drove the fire north into the Tarhoon Airwalk. And many of you would have seen the images of the Tarhoon Airwalk Bridge. Is just a twisted, mangled iron mess with the forests that were burnt. And the first real realisation of the severity of it was my husband was there, and I didn't know where he was, gave him a call, and he had, didn't have phone reception, but they had internet reception, modern technology, who knows. And he said, it's the radiant heat is nearly a kilometre of burning, angry, blazing force of searing heat that feels like your face is melting off. And he was watching this wall of fire eat the forest and the animals, and he just wanted to touch base and hear a normal voice. And that is keeping the firemen and firewomen and the people in services grounded and connected. It's those little moments when they step away from the fire and have a bottle of water and lie on the grass and ring their family. My son rang Kev yesterday, and he said, it was amazing, George. One of the leaders there said, all right, mate, go talk to your boy. They really cared and pushed him out. Kev lay down on the ground and was like, hey, son, how are you? Had a chat. And he said on one level it's surreal, but the next level it makes you want to go and save the area so your family has a community to live in still.
It's, so we've got, it's, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm a waterworks kind of girl. I haven't had a good cry for a while. Connor, can you pass
That's
me
right, you're allowed
clean towels? And I got some tears.
Tears are healing.
One of those. Yeah, they are. And you keep it together for the kids and everything, but when I'm sharing in a safe space with, beautiful people, I can honour how I feel.
Yeah. And we don't have to pretend that everything's okay when we really feel like it's not.
Totally. And that's been a big thing in the community, is the amount of people that are coming to not rescue but be supportive. The local hairdresser has offered anyone who's been evacuated that they can come and get their hair washed for free, like just simple acts of kindness. And then they can, plug in a hairdryer and dry it themselves. The pub has offered for evacuees who just need to get out, have a beer, have a drink, to show their, evacuation ID, and they'll get a free meal. the Red Cross, the Salvos, the governments come forward with grants of, I think it's $100 per child, a couple of $100 per adult in a family, as disaster relief. So, you know, it's just been amazing. It's been so beautiful to see the realness of a community that is often divided by logging, by apple orchardists, you know, different. We've got lots of greens, we've got lots of old school people, and all of that is cut away. And the essence of humanity is shining so brightly. It's just, blows me away.
So got Rachel here, who, as we said before, understands completely where you're coming from. Wishes she could give you a big hug right now. So I think you two need to connect. You
Thanks,
might be able to
Rach.
help each other out.
So sending you some energetic love there, Georgie, because it's been a trying week and a bit for you. So now you said
evacuation is the most surreal thing. I just want to share that because
that would be awesome.
when you are in a situation, you know that there's fires, they're south of where you live, you're in a rural community, there's one road out. So you start thinking about, what do I need to take? And at first it was like, okay, kids, we're camping, packing for a holiday, you know, made it all fun. And because it's like, well, I didn't know if I needed a tent, a shovel, my stove, the camp, you know, so that sort of, survival. It was real survival. And then I looked, I've only got a little Subaru station wagon. I've got 2 sons, a nephew and a dog and myself. So it was 1 bag each of your clothes and the things that are sustainable, your toiletries. Like, it was very militant. And then I said, all right, 1 thing each that's special to you. Well, I think that was the hardest moment of choosing, making that choice. You know, the boys, I mean, they were cute. They were boys. They got their laptop, the PlayStation, a soccer ball, a skateboard. I bought my tripod and my light so I could share my story. But I couldn't find my jewellery box. I could only take 1 bag of photos. So it's coming together with that, but realising that stuff can be replaced. You know, once I tuned in and got out of the where's this, where's that, found my birth certificate, found those important documents, my insurance policy for the house, nothing else mattered. You know, honestly, it was like, I was a bit disappointed I didn't have a second pair of sandals because mine got hot and burnt as we were escaping. And, you know, it was little things like that, bummer. But really, where, you know, when we made the choice to leave, one of my sons was at a friend's house. My husband was home. He said, I think I better look at the fire. We just had a feeling. We didn't know anything new, but the car was ready. We've been breathing smoke for days. Our eyes were stinging. Our lungs were hurting. Everything was black. We were sooty always. And he said, honey, I think you better come outside. And he walked me out. He didn't speak and walked me and said, look up there. And you could see one side was beautiful summer day, like the most glorious fluffy white clouds. It was idyllic. And we turn to the left and there's black plumes of smoke covering the sun. The sun was like a red ball of blazing fire that looked like it was about to drop on our heads.
Wow.
And and knowing that that's behind my home, that is, and we have one, like I said, 1 road out. So we made the choice then to go to the local foreground at the river. There was families, they just moved along all the, we've got a big, what do they call them? Grey nomad community that comes to Franklin in summer. So they got all the grey nomads out, cleared the campground, and it became for residents only. And my heart was touched. You know, there was fire brigade workers from about 12 different areas of our state, like not in our valley, but all over the state. You can see Taroona, Margate, Mangalore, Launceston, like trucks with names on them, Molly and Sienna, and, you know, it was just all these blokes. And people were coming down in horse floats, racing up the road, grabbing animals, bringing them down. At Franklin, it looks like old MacDonald's farm. There's goats on tethers. There's cows in little paddocks. There's horses being led around by old ladies. People have done their best to bring their animals, and now the community's coming together, and Animal Tucker Boxes donated. You can send money to Animal Tucker Box and they'll bring food down for the horses. And a girlfriend's just started a page for the wildlife because, yeah, that was really hard. You know, I can't bring the little possums and the wallabies and the quokkas and the quolls that I see in my property every day. I can't grab them. Yeah.
So, Georgie, you have no idea what's happening back at your property. What's the story with that? Do you get there's no way of knowing, or how does that work?
I've got my ways, Adaire. Always have my ways.
You have these.
I have these and means. Look,
you're very resourceful.
Where I live is one of the really old school roads of the valley. Like, you know, think one owner owned a whole valley and subdivided to his cousins and his nephews, and
so they're Greek.
Did you say that out loud?
I did. It's like the Greeks and Italians all bloody live next door to each other.
Oh, get your keffy out. We'll get your keffy out, baby. I've got some keffy. So many of them could be Greek because they're stubborn old bastards and they're not leaving. So
they're my relatives. Yep.
Yeah. So you know, these guys were probably born in the house. Their parents died in the house. They're still living in the house. They eat what they grow, including their animals, which is quite confronting living next door to them. But they're beautiful, salt of the earth people, and they're in phone contact. So they're right next to our house. They've been sprinkling. They've tapped into a water supply, and they're just going hell for leather with our little creek. Everyone else is probably out of the road, and I know all the families have left. I've spoken to many of the families and met them at the refuge centre when I popped in to lend a hand and register that we had evacuated and had nowhere to go. So there's been 3 bulldozers and an excavator along the top ridge behind our community, our home, our road, and they've been working for about 5 days straight on a fire break. Our road borders 3 fires, so they've made a very serious containment line, and so far the homes in our road they're still standing, and the people who have chosen to stay are still there. My husband has chosen to stay with the fire brigade, but he's been going home and sleeping in our home. So, you know, it's like I'm glad he's had a sleep, but at the same time, vomit in your mouth, you want to die a little bit when someone tells you that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your husband, now he's self-employed, is that right?
Yeah.
You both are?
So
you both are?
We both are. So we've had the last 2 weeks of no work and no income coming in. We've been so blessed. People have been very generous because, like I said, with kids, dog, a couple of basics, we've only got, you know, what you'd take camping for 3 days, and we've been gone for more than that now. And I spoke to Kevin this morning, and it doesn't look like we'll be able to go back anytime soon. It is cooler, but the winds have changed and it's causing chaos in the area. So girlfriends lent us a little shack that I was able to have the dog here, because that's been another thing, you know, people opening their homes, but you've got a big black hairy dog that's used to being on a farm, and she rounds up things. She's a working dog. So, yeah, we've had some interesting times with people's cats don't round very well. But anyway, got somewhere
How about
here.
Children?
Yeah, when she bites their soccer ball and takes it off them, that rounds them up pretty damn quick. So we've been really blessed. A girlfriend dropped over a food hamper for us. Another friend put some money in my account so I could put some petrol in the car and buy a little bit of food. So it's you know, there's many families that are in the same situation where they're self-employed, their livelihood may be burnt there. You know, they may be growing. We have an orchard, so the trees are, not getting watered. We won't be making an income from the orchard this year. The garden's completely be fried by now because we had things in a hothouse and we haven't been able to be there to water. So it's those kind of things that, just day by day. Oh, the Telstra bill is due. Ringing Telstra and ringing our bank and talking about our mortgage, saying, is there a little, a leeway we could have? Just things like that. It's been, okay, that's another level to deal with. Take a deep breath, write some notes, go on hold for however long it takes with those corporations and share where we're at and see what can be done to help.
Yeah. And people who, often when you haven't been through anything like this, it's difficult to understand that side of it. It's people often think, oh, well, they're insured, they'll get all that back. And quite often people are underinsured. They're not insured for enough. But even when you're adequately insured, you still need assistance until that insurance comes through, especially when you're looking at, there's been no income for the last, the best part of 11 days.
Yeah.
And when you're self-employed, it's not, you don't get fortnightly income. You're relying on the work to come in to get paid then. So it's not like you're getting something that's for work that you've done in arrears. Yeah. We'd like to put out there, anybody who would like to help, petrol needs to go in the car, kids need to be fed, animals need to be helped. If you are in a position and can donate a few dollars, if you type heart in the comments below, you will get a message to your inbox. You will need to type in heart again, just read the message there. And Georgie's bank account details have been put in there just to help.
There's no obligation, but if you want to, because quite often, we can sit back and we can watch from a distance, but really it's like, so how do you know who to help and how to help? And, so what we just love it if you want to help. And Georgie, you're an active member of the community and you do a lot of stuff for free as well. And it's like saying, well, here's a way to give back as well. So, Cherie, Ducky, you guys are amazing. You guys are so amazing. Because, it's that, and this is what it's all about. It's about we all help each other when we need to. So, yeah, I'm getting all teary too because, beautiful. And,
me too.
whatever you can give from a distance, and it's like the government does help, and we all help each other, and where we can. I'm running out of words, and Theonie, like, seriously.
I know. It's look.
We can all just sit here and cry because
I know. And look, it can be hard. I do want to thank you for handing over your bank account details, because I know firsthand it can be hard to give that up because pride gets in the way. But take it as an opportunity. Take it as an opportunity just to pay it forward when you can. And there will be an opportunity. There will be, and you do it anyway. But if you, just pay it forward when you can.
Hearing Kevin this morning talking about the situation, and look, it must be really serious, because he said, George, I cannot talk about logistics to you. And for him to say that to me, and I tried every little wifey way you can to get the info out, and it wouldn't come. But what he did share was the people that are there in the thick of it are the right people. They are the ones that, that aren't melting and freaking out, and the ones that feel like that aren't in the thick of it. And the real salt of the earth, caring, loving, strong, embodied men and women are the ones that are there. And he said this experience has made him a better man. Being in the middle of all this and having death and destruction with strength and love, with support from complete strangers, has just opened his heart and made him see humanity and people in such a different light. So You know, it's so beautiful, from tragedy to an aha experience. And that's what I found at the evacuation centre. You know, our little oval and, you know, local gym and PCYC where the kids are is like a refugee camp today.
What's a
There are
PCYC?
Police Citizens Youth Club.
Youth club. You know,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like the YMCA, I guess.
Yeah,
That
okay. Yeah.
kind of
Got it.
a big building where there's, you know, basketball and kickboxing and judo and, you know,
Got it.
rooms for tutoring and things like that. So that was turned into an evacuation centre, and they've got an area for your animals. They've got cages that have been lent by people, given by RSPCA, given by Animal Tucker Box, etc. And where you can have your animals, little animals, normal sized dogs, cats, etc., safe. They've got a dark area with about 500 camp beds. How did they find them? It's just amazing. They came from Red Cross and the Salvos. They've got another area with eating space. They've got a commercial kitchen set up. They've got food vans there, and you register. And they give you a wristband. You get some ID to say that yes, you're legitimate, and then the support is just amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's not just the people in the actual building, because they're filtered out now to campers in the, you know, on the soccer oval and in the car park, and everyone is just coming together, and they're making an effort. You know, if you've got families, they're feeding the mums and the kids separately in an area where, you know, they're not being overrun by hungry adults. So they're really, really coming together. And that is the beauty of this. You know, like I said, it's a community that's had forestry workers and orchardists and greenies and vegans and pig farmers. And, you know, there's a lot of diversity in my rural community. That's been chucked out the window, and people have come together in a way that, you know, I've never seen. It's and people's, you know, everyone's got a story of having to leave their favourite pig at home because it can't fit in the back of the car, or, you know, seeing the flames come up the top of their road and the wind change and it go and then it come back, and putting horses into floats. And, you know, a girlfriend and her husband said they had their shoulders up cattle's bums nearly to hoist them. Like, you have to nearly lift a cow when it's stressed. So seeing people that don't do that in their normal day-to-day life, really tapping into a deep resilience and reserve that will make so many people aware, you know, more deeply aware. And that's a gift amongst this, that deep awareness and those feelings of bigger than self. You know, this is bigger than just me and my I. And just giving what I can. I've been able to do news reports, which is really good. That's my skill of talking and sharing and being passionate about the community. And that has been amazing. People have been messaging me going, thank you. You're not sensationalizing it. You're giving a heartfelt story. You're telling us in real time. We appreciate it. And what an amazing gift to be able to give to the community.
And the power of using social media, because it not only shares what's going on, but for your family and friends who live, you know, the other side of the country, the other side of the world, it's a quick and easy way for them to know how you're doing, that you're out of the thick of the fire, that you're in a safe place as well. So it's, and, you know, your property might not be safe, but you are.
That's okay.
Where you are now. And, so it's the power of using social media in that way is just amazing. And now, I'm not sure if you saw earlier, but Rachel Ireland has commented as well. She wrote a book after what her family went through with the Pinery fires, and she'd like to give you a copy of that.
Thank you.
When you're ready to read through it, her book goes through, because there's all the emotional stuff that you go through once it's over. And her book goes through all of that, and she's been doing some work with Beyond Blue as well. So you two need to connect so she can work out how to get that to you.
So thank you, Rachel. Lovely girl with a big heart as well. So to everyone who's joined us today, and, Georgie, for
And everyone
sharing
catching the
story,
replay.
and everyone catching the replay. This is actually going out to 50 channels of TV on demand through Binge Networks. So you may end up in China. So we've got a global audience. So Georgie, amazing to be able to stop and share this story in real time. That's, we will treasure that, because it is something that, to be able to help us share, and I think that's it really is something that's special that we can do to help you and help other people that are affected by the disaster. And if we can rally people around to help, from a distance, that's our intention here is to do that. So
Thank you
darling.
so much. Yeah. And if anyone wants to find information, the hashtag I've been noticing is TAS, TAS, fire or fires, FIRES. Yeah.
We have put that up in we have put that up in the description of this video as well. So we've used the hashtag
people,
there. So
yeah. People can find information, regarding the news, and ABC Hobart's been fantastic. So if anyone wants to find out more about what's happening via a news station, ABC Hobart, and the TFS, Tasmanian Fire Service website, has a detailed area, because we're in Franklin, and if you look, there's fires in a horseshoe around our community, and we're on the river there. So lots of families have been displaced and evacuated.
We're definitely sending you hearts, sending you love, and we'll send you money as well.
That's right. And anything else that you or the community need, if there's any other way that we can help, let us know, because it's, until you're in the situation, I don't think it's anything you can know. Often you sit back and think, what can I do to help? You've just got no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I put that out last night because the children if you think, there could be 400 families, that could be 1,000 children, if they all had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And it's been really hot. Parents have been on the phone, obviously, with insurance people, Telstra, family, telling kids to go away, sit down. Kids are feeling the tension. And so I put out a call yesterday, and if anyone's in Tasmania and Southern Tassie who might be an entertainer, a face painting group or singing group or balloon making people, Life Be In It, the Scouts, they all have activities. The Huon Valley community's children need you right now. That is a huge one. Even Mr. Whippy, the ice cream van to come in and just to spread a bit of joy.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I spoke to a few parents, and they're happy to, no one's got a lot, but everyone's happy to chuck in $20 and, make a bit of a kitty for Mr. Whippy if, they obviously need to make a living. But yeah, entertainment, balloons, a huge Nerf ball that's the size of a, tennis court, things like that just take the kids off their phones, off their pads, just give them some
and out of their own heads.
Yeah, and because the parents are stressed and tension's building up, and I could see kids fighting and rumbling and piss off, and that kind of energy would start to happen. And it wasn't like that the other day when it was just a big adventure for them, but it's got real. Mum and Dad have been here with our family now for 4 or 5 days. There's other kids, there's new kids, there's bully kids, there's kind kids. They need someone to sort of round them up a little bit. It gives the parents 10, 15, 20 minutes of just, they're safe. Someone else is having fun with them. I have to ring the bank. I have to ring Social Security. There's a lot of things to do. So that really is a big one for me, is bringing that fun and joy and lightheartedness to these children that may not have a home to go back to. We have school start in a week, and, my boys don't have any uniforms. We haven't been able to get school books. We're not even near their school right now. So there's so many things to consider, and I'm not the only family, a whole community is feeling these tears with me on that level. It's scary. I nearly dropped an F-bomb then, but I'm glad I didn't.
We would forgive you for doing that.
I wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't even notice. Well, we are out of time. I do want to thank you again for joining us, Georgie. Sending you massive hugs across the ditch overseas.
Across the ditch, New Zealand.
To New Zealand, down, going downstairs overseas.
Well, that's been something, just quickly, that's been something that's been very interesting. It's like Tasmania hasn't been part of Australia. We've had so many people contact us saying, we're not seeing anything on the news. We're seeing Queensland floods, we're seeing other things, but you've got like 5 or 6 whole towns on fire, burning. Like, well, what is it? You know, acres.
And the thing is, quite often you see fires and it's a firebug and they're looking for who started the fire. This isn't about that. It's a natural disaster. It's as natural as a disaster gets.
Lightning strike. Thor came and got us.
We got it. She's still smiling. Love that smile, Georgie. So,
all right.
Don't go anywhere. We'll just have
don't go anywhere.
Pop you out.
Yeah, so I'm just going to drop you out. Thank you so much again, Georgie. We'll be with you in a minute.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for your comments, sending love, sending, resources, money. If you want, just drop a heart in the comments. You have to be
the word heart, not an emoji heart. You can drop an emoji heart as well, but we need the word heart for the bot to fire.
And if you are, so that would be wonderful. You'll be given details in the direct to your inbox as to how you can help Georgie and her family. And please remember to share this broadcast, because we would love to get, like Georgie said, it's like Tasmania is invisible, and we really do. The only way we can help is if we know about it. So please do.
That's right.
Open
and I have to be honest.
I'll
be honest when I say pretty much, well, most, if not all, of what I have seen with respect to these files has come through what I've seen Georgie share on her Facebook feed as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so do what you can. If you can, just drop a heart, share the broadcast. Even if you're not in a position to donate, share the broadcast. You don't know who's going to see it. Somebody who's been touched by this themselves perhaps might want to donate, but just share the story, because awareness is everything. Even with, I think people need to know that it doesn't matter where you are. You need to be fire ready. You need to know where the important things are that you need to take with you, because you can't take everything.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, on that note, go for it.
That's it for us today with the show.
Week. Daylight time. Yeah. Okay. Bye for now.